You want to find gold? I'm going to give you all the skills and information you need so you can locate and dig your own drift mine. Gold mine. As a certified geologist, I can tell you right now, the fastest and easiest way to find gold is to go where it's already been found before. Now, before we dropped this shaft initially, we spent a year sampling and researching the best place to start digging. It didn't come easy, but what we did is we triangulated all the Chinese shafts that were in the area. And when we thought that we were in proximity to an area that might be untouched based on those triangulations, that's where we dropped the shaft. You're gonna look around for evidence that the old timers were digging there, whether it's cuts, pits, prospect shafts, any of that. And we dropped them and we sampled them. It looks something like this. That is a drift mine. See it? It's cutting the caliche. Look at that munker. Yeah. See how they cut down around the edges and created those ribs? Alright, make sure that that's gonna hold my weight. Ooh, that looks spooky down there. I don't like all that loose material. Any rattlesnakes?
No, I hope not.
Definitely a drift mine. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. Well, there's the bottom. Look how loose that is. Yeah. Yeah. I was expecting something deeper. See that snake skin in there? That means there's a rattlesnake around here somewhere. I'm not liking that too much. I definitely don't like these lips. Alright. I don't like all this loose material either. Let's see what's on down there. Oh yeah, look at that little snake right there. See him? I don't know if you can see that snake. Right there. Tarantula too. Oh, lovely. After we spent about a year of sampling, we punched the shaft in. We got down to about the 20-foot level. That's when we started hitting cemented caliches. And that is when we started finding our first gold. In this world, there's two kinds of people. Those with loaded guns and those who dig. Today I dig. I hope you're happy. See these large rocks down here? I had a few guys ask me, Jeff, what happens if I'm doing some drift mining in alluvial gravel and I run into one of these guys that's too big? You're gonna get yourself a sea air blaster. Just drill the right holes, blast it, and you're good to go. And to keep in mind that not only does the sets have to fit in there, but the lagging too. Because I've seen a lot of guys try to dig this and forget about the lagging, they can't get it in. I got my flow sand right here, see that? Then I started getting my conglomerate gravel. And then right down here, that's schist. That's what schist looks like. It's decomposing schist. Now keep in mind, we started digging in 2016 and we found a considerable amount of gold. But the problem was trying to determine where the best pay layers were and what direction we should dig. All right, see this gravel zone right here? See how loose that is? And all these nice little gravels coming out of there? This is the zone that has the gold in it right here. See that, how loose that is? And it's sitting on top of this caliche right here. See this? And it's not flat either like a lot of people think. It's got a wave conformity to it, see that? And it rises, and then it drops, and it rises, and it drops. So it doesn't have a flat bedding plane to it. And a lot of times the guys will tell you, who've done this long enough, will say, down in these little pits like right here, and maybe over here, is where your highest concentrations or gold will be, because the gold will settle down into like a bowl. Especially if there's a deep V cut right there. It took 2 years to get to where we're at right here. The The gold got better as we went down further, so we dropped this incline shaft. Now the Caliche Beds down here are not flat whatsoever. They actually have rises and little valleys in them. And that's great for catching gold. But the problem is if you're laying track, it can be a nightmare. And we had to drill and blast in certain areas just so we could get our skip car in here and our slusher.
That's what I'm talking about, son. Come on down here and take a look. Oh, yeah. Yeah, fracture that rock up real good. Look at that. Look at that. Can't even lift it. Oh, there's a wire. Yeah, there's a wire right there. Another borehole right there. See that? Alright, take a look. And look how sharp that is. That's razor sharp. Alright, well let's start pulling this rock out and see what we can find.
Here's the bottom of the incline shaft, and this is where the skip car would go to load up from the slusher. And this all had to be drilled and blasted. After we drilled, blasted, and mucked everything out, we opened up this cave system. I've done many videos on this cave system, and there's actually quite a few of them down here. But they're really tiny, and they're very hard to squeeze into for anybody. We put cameras down there on poles, we put remote control cars in. It keeps going, and you can hear water. If you put your head in there, you can hear water. And we were also finding fossils down here, and I noticed that the sands that were coming out of this were real fine red clay, and they had small gold inside of it. Now what we were hoping for is that all these drainage systems connect to the infamous river of gold, Cocoweave. Now if you're not familiar with the legend of Cocoweave, or the caverns that sit underneath the mountain that it's named after, it was originally located by the Native American Indians that lived in the area. And later that information was passed on to another gentleman by the name of Edward Dorr. Dorr located it, found out how rich it was, and was worried that other people in the area would find it, so he blasted the entrance shut.
He says he did what he did. Nobody knows. He's supposed to have concealed the entrance, you know, to prevent anybody else from having it. If he couldn't have it, nobody else could have it, as far as what his relatives tell us.
He decided to return to the cave and set off 2 explosions to seal the natural entrance. Stories vary as to whether or not the other 2 prospectors were in the cave at the time.
Basically, we get going about 7 o'clock in the morning and spend our whole day drilling for as much as 10 hours if we have bad ground. We'll drill 27 to 32 holes, depending on the type of ground, whether it's soft or hard rock. And right now we're drilling about 7 feet and pulling all that rock. So 7 foot a day, because we'd like to be down underneath Cocoweave Cave, you know, by August or so.
If Dora's affidavit is correct, if there is a large cavern system inside Cocoweave, with the use of infrared imaging equipment, it could possibly be spotted.
After we drill the holes, we'll stuff our primers in the back, that is the dynamite with the fuse and whatnot. It's ammonium nitrate. It's kind of like fertilizer. It smells nasty. It's part of why we use the respirators, keep it out of our lungs. And we'll set them off usually with safety fuse, but sometimes we'll use electric detonation. We did today, for instance. It's a little easier to control the time of electric detonation. After we blast it out, we'll spend the next day just mucking it out. Muck is ore that's not valuable. Rocks you throw away. So we'll muck the rocks out with that slusher bucket, and you know, as soon as the tunnel's clean, we'll set it up to drill again. There's an element
Cocoweave Peak lies right off Bailey Road, exit off Interstate
I believe
15.
The river's there, that the caverns exist, and that it's the 8th wonder of the world.
Heading east on Bailey Road, drivers will pass by the blue and white beacons signaling the way to Cocoweave. Located about 3 miles down a series of dirt roads, it is here where the larger-than-life legend continues to play out, captivating treasure hunters, hungry investors, and curious thrill seekers. As mentioned earlier, extensive cave systems do exist throughout the Mojave Desert. Mitchell Caverns features a trio of immense limestone caves with spectacular teen drapery, stalactites, stalagmites, and other wondrous subterranean mineral formations. Cocoweave Peak, in its own right, has 3 considerable near-vertical caverns named Cocoweave, Crystal, and King Sabi.
Notice as we dug this out, we found round river rock everywhere. And you can hear water. If you're real quiet, you can hear it rolling in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. And when you look at the back of the caliche, I'll show you this here in a second, you can see how it's all water-worn and smooth. And there are root systems everywhere down here. And these weird-looking fossils, I don't know if you can see that. It almost looks like a taquito. Do you see that? Isn't that weird? So I'm not an anthropologist, so I don't know that much about it, but there are fossils in here and fine gold. And I'm going to show you what that back looks like so you can see. Look how smooth that is. You see what I'm talking about? See, there's pieces of sandstone that are part of the caliche, and look how smooth it is. Where the water's been slowly eating away at it. That is amazing. You can see the root systems down in there. And it just keeps going on and on and on. And there's that red dirt I was telling you about right there. But it is tight.
So we decided to put this one on hold for just a little while. So we decided to focus all of our energy and our efforts going in the opposite direction. Now we knew that there were plenty of Chinese shafts in the area, so it was just a matter of time before we tapped into one. But we didn't think we would tap into it this fast. I'm gonna leave the camera down here, I'm gonna go up on the surface, I'm gonna show you what we found up there. Hopefully we're in the right spot this time, because I made a miscalculation and we were in the wrong hole. Alright, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna metal detect, see if I can detect any metal down in there. I gotta be careful because this one looks a little bit more dangerous than the other one. Because I tried the other one, I didn't have very much result. But this one is definitely much, much bigger. Get all these bushes out of here. Get all these bushes out. Yeah, I think this is it. I think this is the one. All right, let's check it out. Yeah, there's something metal in there for sure. Look at that. Listen. Oh, it's falling through. You got to keep in mind, one of the reasons why it took so long to cut this drift was because we made it full height. Got tired of working on our knees. So after 2 years, we got to this point. And we made an incline out of it because we knew that the better gold was down deeper. Look at that. Now the drift mine we have is dug in Caliche, beds of Caliche. And that's exactly what you see here. This is all conglomerate that's been cemented together with calcium carbonate. This is Caliche. It's like concrete. And you can see I've got all these types of limestones and even sandstones that are entrapped in it. Most drift mines will go through a lot of overburden to get down to the bedrock, because in that particular area, that's where all the gold has settled down to. But out here in the arid regions, we don't have bedrock, at least not shallow. We have Caliche beds. But the one thing that we didn't read in any book was what was down here below the cemented Caliche beds. And that, of course, is the worms that we're finding down here in the sump in all that beautiful red clay. We've made many, many videos on what we think that worm is, and we've had a lot of suggestions. Now, I'm sure there's millions of them down there, and the question is what's down below it? Because it's really soft and there's water that comes up like a natural aquifer when we go through the monsoon seasons. So I'm not sure what's down there, but the gold, and lots of it, is down there. Now the reason why we needed a sump was because we had to have some place for our shaft sinking bucket, our skip bucket, to go. And that's it right there. It always has to sit lower than the level that you're working so you can dump directly into it. And that's how the old timers did it in days gone by, and that's how it's done today.
Now, we understood the geology of the area and we knew that there was a thick cemented caliche bed down here, but we didn't know what was underneath it, and nobody had ever tapped into it before. There's the apron that we dump all of our material into. That's about 320 pounds of material right here. Now, if you see me sweating a lot, it's because it's about 90% humidity down here because all the moisture in the clay seams is coming out. And even though it's cooler than topside, the humidity is like a sauna down here. So let's keep that in mind too if you start drift mining. Even the smallest rock coming down that shaft is gonna hurt real bad if it hits you in the hands or the face. So once this thing goes up, don't look up it, okay? And make sure you have a clear and concise bell configuration. Ours is 2 up, 3 down, 1 emergency stop. And like I said, that's about 320 pounds. And you make sure whoever's operating your winch on the surface knows what they're doing. Referred to as a kick switch because you use your foot to kick it from left to right. This is the most simplistic form of a switch you can get, and they're super easy to make. To operate them, you just put your foot down and slide it over. Now, the nice thing about a kick switch is if this track is in a circle and I've got the track set to go in this direction, I go around a loop and come back. When this ore car, mine car, comes through and it hits the kick switch, these wheels will kick it over. I'll show you what I mean. So if I got my kick switch over here, because I'm going in this direction, it circles around and comes back this way. And my ore car's coming here. I can't get around to the front of it for whatever reason. When it's fully loaded and weighted, this wheel right here is gonna naturally kick the kick switch over into the right position. Now, while we're on the subject of mine cars, I've made plenty of videos on how we built this one. It's really, really easy to make. The hardest thing is the wheels. You can get them on eBay all day long. Now, if you plan on digging your own drift mine, the most important thing you gotta remember is ground support. You gotta make sure that soft alluvium doesn't wanna come down, because it's going to. And we've done countless videos on how to timber a shaft and a drift properly, the way it should be done. In fact, we have a lot of people around the world who have done just that, and by following our instructions, they found gold.
Już nawet mamy jego kształt zamierzony. Witek pogłębia. Ominęliśmy taki duży głaz i mamy wstępne elementy. Wszystko przycięte, zwymiarowane. Jest szansa, że dojdziemy do w dole poszukiwacz Witek. Kopie za 3, montuje lagging za 4. Aktualnie ładuje wiadro urobkiem. Wiadro na systemie bloczków do samej góry. Nie, to chyba przez. Ale się nie rusza. Nie, to boiler.
Another question I get is, Jeff, do you run everything that you mine out? We run the first 6 to 8 inches that's sitting on top of these cemented caliche beds through a wash plant. I know a lot of you guys have seen it, but for those of you out there that have never seen our wash plant, it looks like this. I wish that somebody would help me. Ah! And yeah, you're gonna get wet. Oh yeah. And that is what I'm talking about. You see what I mean? That is absolutely amazing. Now another question I get a lot is, Jeff, is this considered a hard rock mine or a placer mine? This is technically a placer mine, a paleoplacer mine. We just had to simply go down to the artificial bedrock, which is the cemented caliche beds, and pull the placer gold off of that. It's a very hard way to get placer, but it can be a very, very rich way to get your placer. Now to help teach and facilitate everything that we know, we have 3-day gold mining tours. Most of you probably already know about the placer or metal detecting tours that we host in Arizona, but I'm sure there's many of you out there that aren't aware that we also host hard rock tours in Nevada. Looks something like this.
Woody, Forrest Grump, Oregon City, Oregon. Ready to dig. Want to say hi to Blake, Abby, and Matthew. Hi Blake, hi Matthew, hi Abby.
Are you happy out here?
I love gold!
Yeah!
My name's Mark Lazier from Morgan Hill, California. Excited to get down in the mine, see what we find. And I want to say hi to Ian. Happy birthday, buddy.
What about my birthday? I don't get no birthdays.
I'm Charlie Anderson from Carlsbad, California, and just came here to help Jeb dig this hole.
Bill Koschel from Crockett, California, East Bay. I'm here with my dad, and we're coming to break this puppy in.
My name's Josh, and I'm coming down from Port Townsend, Washington. Here to do the obvious.
My name's Randy Bayless. I'm from Mesa, Arizona. I'm finally ready to get some real gold. And spent a lot of time on my own, never got anything, so.
Nothing?
Nothing, yeah.
Not a speck?
Nope.
Hi, I'm Steve Mazzara from Yorba Linda, California, and I'm here without my better half, Cecilia. Finally made it out with Jeff. I've been to all of his seminars in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I'm Ken Dinsmore, and I'm currently in Denver, Colorado, and I'm here for the shiny, but more important than that, I'm here to pick Jeff's brain and find out everything I can about how to get this stuff.
Thomas the Tank Tanaka.
Tanaka!
I'm here to get some AU.
That's gold, you fools out there, so come on, let's go!
Oops. Not there, huh?
Yeah. Keep an eye on that rock, make sure it don't move. And then when I eat, I put it in my teeth.
So bandaged, solicified, hematized.
And look at that fine gold.
Oh man, nice. I can see a constant line even with the first.
That's not bad. Hey, right? So come on, let's go! Now the reason I'm telling you this is because we're working on firing up hard rock tours in one of our super ultra rich gold mines in Nevada. And in fact, we just got the assay report back that showed exactly how rich it is.
Oh yeah!
A lot of the gold that comes out of this particular mine is specimen gold. In fact, when we invited Jason from Mount Baker Mining and Metals out, he collected up a whole bunch of them. They look something like this. Right now we're just working on the logistics so we can get the mine up to speed and make it safe. All the gold that's coming out of that drift mine goes directly to our premium patrons. Our way of saying thank you for helping us keep the dream alive, because they help support us. And by doing so, we can continue to dig, build infrastructure, and continue mining. In return is to give them all the gold that comes out of it. Every speck, whether it's fine placer gold from the wash plant or large nuggets from metal detecting. And in the process, we like to give away other things too, like specimen gold from our hard rock mines. We also like to give away bags of pay dirt. Sometimes those bags of pay dirt are pretty large.
What is that?
Now, to come out on our 3-day gold mining tours, whether they're placer or hard rock, you have to be a premium patron. But like I said earlier, it's well worth it because of all the benefits you get. And of course, our patrons always have exclusive access to Slim's store. And inside of Slim's merch store, we have our t-shirts as well. Our most popular one is, of course, and yeah, you're gonna get wet, along with Nice Lump Chump. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want their woman to be wearing a shirt like that, huh? And of course, we have other t-shirts, but these are the most popular. Now, if metal detecting for gold nuggets, or even doing your own hard rock mining for specimen gold is something that's been on your bucket list for a while, or maybe you just want to get a handful of nuggets out of our drift mine, just look for the little icon at the end of the video that looks like that. Just click on it and become a premium patron. Or if you happen to see a tier that best suits your needs better, go ahead and click on that one. We have tiers for just about everything. Well, I hope to see you sign up as a patron, because I guarantee if you come out on the 3-day gold mining tour, whether it's hard rock or placer, you're gonna love it. Anyone who's ever been out on one says it's changed their life for the better. And I think you'll agree once you get out there. And if you want to see more videos about geology and the application of using it to find gold, look for the videos at the end of this video. I guarantee you'll love those as well.